Hello and welcome to our video about SI and Imperial measurement systems. So this is all about unit conversion, both between Imperial units as it shows first, as well as between SI units as it shows second, as well as between Imperial and SI units. This is all with distances, but the same thing can actually be held with like weights and measurements like ounces and stuff like that as well, to liters, all those sorts of things. So just before we do that, I'm just noticing we're missing a couple of pieces of information with that in mind. I'm guessing that these are not going to be on the CSA, but pounds to ounces, I believe it is 16, yeah, so 1 pound, which is with LB, is equal to 16 ounces, okay? And then pounds to kilograms, so this would be down here. So I think we should go the other way around. So 1 kilogram equals 2.2 pounds. Okay, so just adding those two pieces of information for the purposes of these questions that we're doing now, but really it's all the same stuff. So we're going to just do a bunch of example questions one at a time. Let me know if you have any questions by just putting a comment down in the comments down below. So we've got 500 grams to kilograms. So if you go 500 and you have grams, and you want to get kilograms, what you do is you multiply with grams on the bottom so that those cancel, and kilograms on top. Now, how does this work exactly? Well, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. So now that we have that, we can multiply that straight across. So 500 divided by 1,000, so 0.5 kilograms. Okay, these first couple examples are going to be fairly straightforward. Let's keep going. So we've got 3.5 kilometers. We want it in meters. So if we want it in meters, we're going to multiply by a fraction with meters on top and kilometers on the bottom. So we have 1,000 meters on top. So we're basically multiplying by 1,000. So it's 3,500 meters is our final answer. Okay, 2.5 pounds to ounces, so 2.5 pounds. Well, we want to multiply by something that would get rid of pounds and give us ounces. Well, 16 ounces is 1 pound. So those pounds now cancel, so 16 times 2.5. And it's easier with my mouse, so 2.5 times 16, and we get 40. So 40 ounces is 2.5 pounds. All right, continuing on, we've got 100 inches in feet and inches. So this is an important skill to do feet and inches. We'll talk about that more in a bit. But basically, let's start by getting it in feet. So first of all, we're going to divide by inches and multiply by feet. So 1 foot is 12 inches. So when we do that, that would be like saying 100 divided by 12. We're going to get this number, 8.33 repeating. Okay, now this is not our final answer. This is how many feet it is. Now, if we want to find feet and inches, what we do is we take that number and we concatenate it, which means no matter what the value is, we only ever look at the whole number value. So 8 feet, and we switch it back into inches. So we want to get rid of feet and switch it back into inches. So 12 inches per 1 foot. So 8 times 12. So 8 times 12, and we get 96, I think. Yep, 96. So we get 96 inches. Okay, Now what we do is we take that number and we subtract it by the original. So 100 inches minus 96 inches, and we get 4 inches. Okay, so actually that's not our final answer though. What we'll do now is we'll write 8 feet 4 inches. And that would be a great way of writing it there. Or you can go 8 feet, which is 1 apostrophe, 4 inches, which is a double apostrophe, or like a quotation mark. Alright, so feet and inches, that's when things are a little bit more challenging. Let's keep going here and do a couple more examples. I highly recommend you pause the video, try some of these out yourself, and see if you can figure them out. So here for question 5, convert 30 kilometers to miles. So times by, and we want to get rid of kilometers, and we want to have miles on top. So what you can see is that we have 2 options for this. Hopefully you can see we have 2 options. It doesn't really matter which one you choose, but I'll say I'm going to always choose this one because it's more sig digs. There's 4 sig digs here and 3 sig digs here. As a science person, I know the more sig digs, the better. So 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers. So 30 divided by, whoops, let's go back. 30 divided by 1.609. And so we get 18.6 miles. All right, continuing on, we have this many pounds to kilograms, so 155 pounds times by, and then we want to get rid of pounds, and we want to end up with kilograms, so pounds cancels with pounds. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, I believe is what we found. Yes. So there it is. So what we're going to get is 155 divided by 2.2, and we get 70 kilograms. All right, so that's the answer there. Okay, now we have 2 word problems, just trying to put this into some sort of context of a question. Alice drove 300 kilometers from Edmonton to Calgary, while Bob drove 140 miles from Seattle to Portland. Who drove the further distance? So basically, and you could say also by how much or whatever, but basically this question is simply needing you to get to the same value, so both same unit. So both in kilometers or both in miles. Let's change this to kilometers because metric is the better system, as we all know. So we're going to get rid of miles by putting it on the bottom and have kilometers on top. So 1 kilometer is 1.6-ish, 609. No, other way around. 1 mile is 1.609 kilometers, I believe it is. Yep, that's right. So now miles is canceling there. So we're left with 174 times by 1.609, 279.6, no, 0.966. So this will round up, so 280 kilometers. Okay, so this is how far that Bob drove, while Alice drove this much. So who drove further? Alice drove further. By 20 kilometers. Roughly. Okay, Calvin weighs that much, 140 pounds, while Dylan weighs 55 kilos. Who weighs more? So again, same sort of process. We pick one and we go with the other. Since in Canada we generally measure in pounds, even though it's, we're a metric country, we generally measure in pounds. It's really interesting that way. Maybe we're trying to keep our physics straight with apparent weight, our weight versus our mass. That maybe that's what it is. But anyways, I digress. So let's change this 55 kilograms into pounds. So what we're going to do is go like that. So 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. So 55 times 2.2, and you'll get 121. So Dylan weighs 121 pounds, right? And Calvin weighs 140 pounds. So Calvin weighs more. Calvin weighs more by about 19 pounds. So yeah, I hope this video helped you understand the unit conversion side of imperial and metric measurements. Hope this video helped, and good luck.